Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmasso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmasso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a variant launched in 2022. This is the Laurent Ferrier Classic Origin Blue. The original Origin launched in 2020, and it is an elemental manual wind three-hander from Laurent Ferrier of Geneva. Now, the watch is 40 millimeters in diameter in grade 5 titanium, which, in addition to being hypoallergenic, is both lighter and more scratch-resistant than 316 and 904L steel. So the watch measures 11.3 millimeters thick and from lug tip to lug tip, 47.1 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it wears quite nicely. Feather light, being all sapphire and titanium. You can see it's not out to the edge of my wrist, really, not even close. So I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference, and with its shape and its flat profile, it will easily fit underneath a cuff. Very comfortable to wear. The strap is made of Alcantara, which is a synthetic suede material that is very expensive, often used as the contact points in race cars and supercars. This is what you'll typically find on seat inserts to hold you in place, as well as shift knobs, paddles, and steering wheels. And again, it's both more expensive than suede leather and more durable. Laurent Ferrier, the namesake of the brand, is also a race car driver, or he was in his prime. He was quite serious as well, with many significant results, and so Alcantara is evocative of his glory days, not just as a watchmaker, but as a sportsman. You can see there's a little bit of bolstering to give it some volume. It has a sheer side showing the layers of leather, and then on the bottom we have more Alcantara and a slightly more saturated blue. You can see this is a brand new Laurent Ferrier factory strap. We've got a buckle here that has a fluid form to it. It is titanium to match the watch and handsomely sculpted. We have that galet case shape that you'll recognize from many Ferrier watches in the past. Vintage inspired, but also designed to evoke a smoothed pebble that is set in a stream for eons. All the surfaces are polished. That's one of the virtues of grade 5 titanium. Unlike grade 2, grade 5 can be polished. We've got a little bit of a setback case that makes the watch look thinner on the wrist, and then a little bit of a teardrop gathering of the lug underneath its top. We have a vintage-inspired crown that is both onion-profiled and unsigned in vintage fashion and a domed bezel. We have an opaline, or very lightly frosted sandpaper-like dial texture with a fumé or smoked fade, light at the center, dark at the edge. We've got a crosshair-style dial, assegai-style spear-shaped hands, and dart-style indices to match. All hands and indices are made of white gold for longevity and resistance to oxidation. We also have lovely sort of cyan Arabic numerals outboard on the railroad-style track for reading the minutes, and then a downwardly stepped seconds track to add another focal plane to the dial. Flipping it all over, we have the caliber here, Laurent Ferrier 11601. Now, a lot to love. We may as well fire it up. In fact, I'll show you how it winds. See this remarkable black polished bar? That's actually both the click and the click spring. It's what prevents the barrel from running backwards. It's a vintage-inspired element that is beautifully mirrored across its surface and rounded all the way around. You can see underneath that, we have a ratchet wheel with polished teeth. You can see micro beveling on the edge of the teeth, which I love to see. That's superb attention to detail. And then we have a circular concentric graining on the barrel beneath. Now, we also have black polished screws with chamfered slot circumference, high-end finish, and then we have a number of elements that speak to the technical accomplishment of Laurent Ferrier. 6-position adjustment, not the chronometer and high horology standard of 5, but 6. Crown up, crown down, dial up, dial down, crown left, crown right. We also have an 80-hour power reserve. We have a free-sprung balance for greater durability and more precise adjustment. We also have an overcoil hairspring with a more centered mass than a flat hairspring, so in any position it breathes concentrically. Look very carefully and you can see the utmost precision applied to the formation of the anchor and the escape wheel, you can see that they are skeletonized micrometallic parts. That's achieved using LIGA, which is a sort of galvanic lithography that can micro-profile surfaces and allows these tiny parts to be skeletonized for minimal mass and high efficiency. All this beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour and pivoting on 21 joules, and all of this is 30 meters water resistant, and again, 80 hours of power reserve, manual wind, quite impressive. The quality of the winding, remarkably refined tactically. I would say it is a great choice to make the watch a pleasure to wind. It is both a tactical victory and a tactile victory for the brand. We have a dark rhodium across the bridges with media blasting to give it a vintage style matte finish, and then the mirrored mile-wide bezels, anglage, for which Laurent Ferrier is justly known. You can also see the same treatment has been applied to the sinks for the pivot jewels. Love to see that, and really these are some of the finest bevels this side of Romain Gaultier. You'll also note we have a sharp outward point where two bevels converge. Very difficult to achieve those points. You could see them in a multiplicity across this movement, and then we get that one satisfying sharp inward angle where bevels meet in a crease, also very difficult to achieve. And then we have satination on all of the wheels and media blasting on the base plate. A fantastic timepiece, the essence of Geneva horlogerie. Reach out to T. Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.